Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 4 of Behind the Ads. I am Hugh Reese, and this is the Exposed Media team. Behind the Ads is an awesome little thing we're doing where we're going to bring you every week some tips and tricks of what is working in our ad accounts and for our clients' accounts every week. So hopefully you can then take that and implement in your accounts and make some money. That's what we're all here for. So this week we're going to change it up a little bit. The tribe has spoken, and we're going to have a bit of a jam session. We're just going to see how it flows. Instead of everyone doing their own topics, we're going to just try and have a general conversation. How do we feel about that, everyone?
Keen.
Yeah.
The way
I just can't believe we're 4 episodes in.
The way you pitched it to me before was so much more entertaining. Cool.
It would be so good.
So good. Well, there's been some exciting changes in Facebook this week. I, for one, have got the new Facebook layout, which is pretty cool.
Have you got dark mode on?
Dark mode all the way, which is
Got to be on dark mode.
So
No other way.
I've got Messenger on my phone as dark mode, so yeah, it's all good. But one of the most exciting things that's come out this week is Facebook Shop. So it's a bit of a change up in how things are working for e-commerce. Old Zuck is trying to keep everyone on the platform, which I guess makes sense in terms of usability and user experience and safety in purchase. If you trust Facebook with your money, maybe, I don't know. So yeah, if you're interested to see how that plays out, what do we think about that for our clients? How do we think it's going to impact them?
I think it's going to be good, especially in terms of tracking, because I know that we've got a few clients at the moment where there's pretty big discrepancies between what we see on a Shopify or a website backend and what we see in an ad account. So potentially that's going to give us greater visibility on that.
You're saying in terms of tracking, because it has, especially with all the pixel blockers and iOS and Android not actually tracking pixels anymore.
Yeah.
We'll have some more stability in our results or trackable results.
Yeah, definitely.
Makes sense. Take away the whole need for landing pages, so that essentially, people don't have to optimize their landing pages to the best conversion, because now they're in platform and you can buy a product directly in platform. That's a pretty good advantage.
Maybe it'll be a bit more of a shift towards like using more instant articles and things like that then.
Instant experiences, I like it.
Yeah, that'll be really interesting to see whether or not people actually take it up, and like especially like region specifically, like who takes it up.
So you buy it on platform, so you pay directly to Facebook rather than going through like a merchant processor or Shopify or PayPal. It all gets processed in Facebook on a credit card.
Yeah, so in theory, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, and that's using Facebook Pay, which is only US based at the moment.
What's happening with everyone who's not in the US?
I think everyone at the moment is still just using that kind of similar to Instagram Shop that rolled out a while ago now.
Yeah, like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I think, or was it more recently? I feel like they had a pretty recent one where you can browse and then buy straight from it, where you get sent to the website. Was it like 6 months?
A bit longer than
closer
that.
to a year. Yeah.
You're going with that. Yeah.
I think one of the things that stands out to me is it's kind of a different take, because when you look at something like Google Shopping, you're obviously taking the inventory from the website and sending people to the website. It's basically just a listing, as opposed to this, which seems, from what I've read, to be more of a standalone thing. You could almost run your store through this if you really wanted to. It could just be your platform for selling things.
Yeah, well, it's a
different approach.
Yeah, it's kind of how they're selling it too for those smaller businesses that are right now, like people are setting up businesses and selling through Marketplace at the moment. So you could potentially shift away from that and have your own kind of Facebook shop for those like smaller guys that sell like, I don't know, handmade goods and things like that.
Yeah, but that's actually still really quite dangerous though from a business perspective, because like, I mean, we've all seen big pages get shut down.
Well,
and we've all seen, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's a shifting sand. Like if you're building your whole business around Facebook owns it.
Yeah.
You actually don't own anything. So it definitely has like good concepts for startups. Like if you're starting up and you want to test a product idea, but I don't see, like, I don't think moving away from having a website or having like an actual e-commerce platform is going to go away. But it's really dangerous. Like, I think it's a bold and dangerous move on Facebook's behalf.
Or it'll be, I saw one comment on one of the groups I'm in this morning that was, this is all great, but we've seen how quickly businesses go down when an ad account gets shut down.
Yeah.
Imagine having your entire platform shut down with no reason why, or no kind of visibility about it, which is a little bit terrifying.
As you say, Josh, it's probably going to have to be a more curated sort of content on in app as opposed to a website.
Yeah.
So it might even be more of a restricted offering.
Yeah, exactly. And it's probably, I mean, it's going to be one of those situations where omni-channel is the only way that you can actually succeed. Because if you're going to need to have an e-commerce store, you're going to need to be keeping people's email addresses, you're going to need to be running email. There's going to be a lot to.
I guess that's kind of the way it is now anyway. It's just that one extra push towards it.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be the savior for.
Yeah.
It's not going to solve your business problems. It's just going to be another way that people can buy from you,
and probably buy a little bit easier.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the main thing. Is it's obviously it's just another way to buy the product or buy the service, but ultimately what it comes down to is they're removing a step, and that is, when it comes to something like e-commerce, can be the difference between someone buying or not. Not having to go to a website, not having to worry about things like load times, not having to worry about, whether or not something's in stock, because it's already all there right in front of you. And all you have to do is hit that buy button. You've already got payment details there. You've got shipping information that's going to be just sitting in that account ready to go. You've got all that stuff, including, everything that people interact with on Facebook already. They've got their page likes and everything. So it can all tie in to really pull together. And I think targeting is going to be a big thing. And I think obviously, the flow of that purchase is going to be much, much smoother than what we see now.
Yeah, and there's I did see some cool things that Facebook put out where they're going to introduce like the Facebook Live and Instagram like try-ons with the like VR stuff.
Yeah.
So you can
like
see
AR kind of.
AR. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So that'll be pretty cool. And even does IKEA has one, not related to Facebook, but I'm pretty sure they have one where you can like put.
You can do your kitchen.
Yeah, and you can like put products in your room and stuff like that. So I think that's probably the shopping experience we're moving towards.
So, question: Would you buy something on Facebook directly if you saw an ad?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably would, yeah.
Interesting.
Maybe not so much a high ticket item, but something like
There's new
something
vans.
off the cuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clothing and shoes I think would be a big one for me, probably. If I can see an ad.
But it'll be,
The impulse purchases.
Yeah, it's the small things like, I can drop $40 on that. Why not? Let's grab it. It's right there.
I think it'll be a case of the first thing I buy is going to be something from a store or a brand that I've already bought from.
Yeah.
And that's just going to open the floodgates.
So,
Yeah.
Broke.
I wonder if it'll be more used for people repeat buying off the brands that they know, as opposed to like, I don't know, the brand story or their USPs or whatever. Like, you'd probably still head to a website. I don't know how like the layout's going to look, but
it's interesting the timing of this announcement too, with all the COVID work from home scenario, more eyes on the screen. Is this maybe a way that sort of they're trying to hedge their bets and keep people on the platform for longer?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the new layout as well, combined with this sort of rolling out to make it all just one really just all-encompassing platform.
Interesting enough, on the new layout, it looks like the ad inventory is going to have to change as well, because the spacing for the right-hand column ads is totally different. It's much more shorter, skinnier images, placements, which is really intriguing that they would have done that. Going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Yeah, and I think what's going to be interesting is it'd be good to know. I wonder if they'll release stats on how people are using the platform and whether they use dark mode or like day mode, because it might change the coloring that you use in your videos and your ads. Like that kind of stuff doesn't at first glance doesn't seem that important, but you're completely changing the background of what you're putting your content on.
Yeah, it actually looks really weird to see a white background image on the dark mode. It's really standing out.
It stands out really heavily.
So interesting to see how this all plays out in terms of us and marketing for our clients, for sure. With that being said, I'm seeing in some accounts that I'm working on at the moment that costs are going up, CPMs are rising, and so I think there's a lot more competition on there now in terms of advertisers. And I know a lot of countries are sort of getting back to normal now. Do you think there's any trends that are happening at the moment in terms of buying trends? Was so everyone was on their devices buying a lot of stuff over the last 2 months, but now do you think the trends are starting to cut down, or what are you guys seeing in your accounts?
I think it just depends on what sort of niche you're in. I think like there was a big emphasis on things like health food, skincare, supplements when this first sort of kicked off, whether it was like looking after your health to try and not catch it, or you bought it home so you're taking extra time for your skin or routine or whatever. I've started to see they've started to slow down slightly. And also people that rush to buy something, skincare, supplements, they last a month or so. So that buying cycle's play hasn't kicked back off again. So yeah, I've definitely seen it slow slightly on my end.
What does a return to normal look like, essentially, do you think?
I think in a comparison to what we've seen over the last kind of month or two, a return to normal is going to look negative for a lot of people. I think a lot of people are going to look at their accounts and say, oh, we've dropped off by 20, 30, 40%, whatever it is, month over month compared to last month. But people, I think, are probably going to, there'll be some people that panic. There'll be some brands that panic. They're going to say, oh my goodness, we've lost all these sales. But I think the important thing to remember is that a lot of those sales were temporary anyway. People were definitely forced into a situation where they didn't really have much of a choice but to order online and to have something delivered. And going back to being able to buy that in store or being able to get that from where they normally would, I think it's going to hit some businesses probably harder than others. Like you say, those supplement brands and those brands where people still want this kind of stuff, but they have no option but to order online. They're probably going to see a large drop off compared to something like a clothing store where ultimately people are going to buy that stuff online anyway.
I think that there will be a bit more of a kind of increase. Obviously, as stores start to open and the restrictions ease, people are going to kind of take more luxury in going and shopping in store, as opposed to, oh, this is convenient, I can order it and get it to my house in a couple of days. They're going to enjoy being like, oh, I can go out and actually buy this and have a bit more of an experience. So I think it will be
the bricks and mortar savior.
Yeah, mate, take it away for 3-6 months and then see how people
just want to get out of the house and do something for the day. Yeah.
And I think that it'll be good too for your kind of smaller brands that now put a focus on, hey, we are a small business, we do need your support. I think that's going to be, I know for one of my clients in terms of ad copy last month and kind of through COVID, the small business angle that we took really did well. So I think if brands keep pushing that, both bricks and mortar and online, I think that's still going to resonate really well over the next couple of months.
Yeah, and I think in combination with that, not just like small business, but Australian small business, Australian made, Australian owned, that's what people want at the moment. And Hugh, to add on kind of what you were saying about, you can see your CPMs are rising. So that's kind of indicative of more competition in the market. And at the same time, I was listening to a podcast a couple of days ago. The Bureau of Statistics released an article saying that in March, sales rose by around 8%. And then in April, they dropped by about 18 or 17%. It's the biggest like month-to-month drop that they've ever seen for retail. And I guess like, yeah, so skincare, wellness, fashion, it's within that but like groceries and food is within that too. So that probably accounts for a lot of the rise in March when everyone was stocking up. But yeah, to see not only just like then the drop back of the 8% that the rise was, but more than double. It'll be interesting to see over the next few months kind of what effect that has on e-com in particular.
Yeah.
I think an important thing to remember as well is that while there will be a drop off there, and there has been a drop off there for a lot of industries, you've still had all of those people come through your store. You've still had all of those people sign up for your email lists, get put into remarketing lists. They've visited the website. They're still going to get hit with ads. All of this stuff is still going to benefit you long term. It's just kind of a short term, readjustment as things kind of return to normal. And I don't think it's something that we need to be super concerned about in terms of long term in accounts. It's just going to be kind of a thing that we need to move past over the next kind of 2 to 3 months, at least in Australia, probably. I don't know what the rest of the world's going to be looking like long term. But I think, yeah, definitely things will stabilize, and you ultimately do still have more people in the funnel now overall.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting point in terms of having more people in the funnel. So would you say that content is a huge part now of a long play? You've got all these audiences and all eyeballs that have seen your products, seen your website, know who you are now. How do we educate them, or how do we talk to them to sort of keep them engaged long enough to buy if they haven't already bought from us?
Yeah, definitely content. And I think, again, like being more omni-channel, getting people in your emails, Facebook, Instagram, hitting them on all different channels, engaging with them in a way that's not just pushing products at them anymore, which maybe was the way to go a month or two ago. And that's what was working because people wanted to buy, but being more genuine and building that brand trust.
I think it's also important to, as James said, like a lot of people would have been purchasing from new brands or trying new brands because they're bored at home and want to have a little bit of excitement in their day. How do you convert them again to increase their customer lifetime and capitalize on those one-off purchases to keep them coming back? I think is the most important part.
I was going to say, maybe it's even just sending out an email blast with a little discount code or something to bring people back in for that second purchase.
Yeah. I think kind of related to like going back to normal as well. I think one thing that we saw from like almost every brand across Australia and the world was that they put a big focus on writing copy and creating content that was designed around everyone being at home and how their product incorporates into you being at home. And so it'll be interesting to see if moving forward, there's still that same focus of actually looking at how people are going to use your product in their lives, as opposed to just, this is our product and this is what it does. So yeah, I think that'll be a cool thing to look for over the next few months as well.
Yeah, but that also means that you're taking advantage of the situation at the time, but now you have to be more strategic in how you craft your copy and how you actually build out your engagement pieces and how you talk to your customers for every part of the life cycle.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that we've been doing a lot of testing at the moment around middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel copy to try to talk to our customers around their pain points, their fears, their pleasure, the factual side of things. That's all seems to be working really, really well at the moment, and trying to test out what actually is resonating with our audience, so we can sort of then structure that life cycle, customer life cycle. So one day they're getting one ad for a pain point or a niggle in their life, and the next one they're getting some factual information to reinforce the product and why the product's going to work for them or how it's working. So it's just go back to marketing, being marketing the product correctly instead of just saying, hey, buy my shiny stuff.
Yeah.
It's actually starting to have more thought process around how we do that sort of stuff.
And I think also people are in different stages still of dealing with this. Like some people are working, some people aren't working, some people are working from home. So what was once important to them and relevant is now completely different.
Yeah.
Just by factor of this current sitch.
The current sitch, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have to pull up there, guys. I think we've been going a bit over time, but it's been a cool conversation. I enjoyed it. And does anyone have any leaving remarks that they want to share with what's been going on in the last week or so since we last caught up?
I'm just excited because gyms are back.
Yay, Jim's back.
Go to the gym again.
Excited
Yell
for
at
things to
that
start
because everyone's not buying on
returning.
the e-commerce, and I'm like, yes, get out of the house.
I do some training, get my leads going. Love it.
So good.
All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoyed seeing your faces, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of you in the office in the next coming weeks. And thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.